Hey guys, Ivan here, and we are 2 days post 2025 Mr. Olympia, and in this video we got a couple of very interesting bodybuilding updates. The first thing we gotta talk about is Nick Walker. So, as you guys already know, Nick Walker failed pretty badly to deliver at a 2025 Mr. Olympia. A lot of people actually had him winning the whole show, and in my opinion, the only reason why he didn't place so high was because he was simply very much off. If he looked the way he did at the Pittsburgh Pro, where he pushed Derek Lunsford and maybe even beat him, by the opinion of many, not most of the judges, but basically everybody else who saw that show thought Nick was winning. So if that Nick showed up at the Mr. Olympia, he would be fighting for the win. I think he would be in the top 2 or top 3. I would say he would place third, worst case scenario. But he didn't deliver, he failed. Why was this? Why did this happen? Nobody knows. Radio silence from Nick and his coach, Kyle Wilkes. They did not post anything on their social media, neither Derek nor Kyle, nothing so far. I'm sure one of them will make a video explaining what exactly happened, where did things go south, at what point, how, why. At this point, it's like last year it was Matt Jansen's coach, before that it was an injury. This year at least Nick showed up, but he didn't look good. He didn't look great, and he felt like that as well. You could see that in all the interviews he did. Guys like Nick Strength and Power thought he was super confident that he's going to kill at Mr. Olympia, but it was pretty clear, at least to me. Guys, I don't know about you, but I definitely saw it, that Nick was not feeling it, that he did not look confident. And I already know that most of you guys who follow my channel are hardcore bodybuilding fans. Nick Strength and Power is more of a mainstream media. You know, he doesn't really go into nuts and bolts, and he doesn't really follow bodybuilding that much. You know, he doesn't do bodybuilding, he doesn't compete, he doesn't prep anybody. So he doesn't really have an eye for these things, and I don't think he really thinks too much about what he sees. He just says what everybody else is thinking, and when he saw this update from Nick, he was like, Nick Walker breaks the internet, he looks so great. I made a video about this, and I told you guys that he's off. Some of you guys were like, it's a clickbait, he's not really off. No, he was off, and I saw it. And if you have an eye for bodybuilding, if you're prepping other people, if you prep yourself, you can actually see these things. I'm not great maybe at predicting the shows, because what am I, a freaking prophet? I don't know what these guys are gonna bring, but when I see a physique, I can tell you exactly what is happening. And with Nick, it was pretty obvious to me, it was clear that he was failing to deliver. Now, there is also this photo that is circling around the internet right now. Everybody's talking about it. It's just Nick Walker with his huge bubble gut, and it was so huge that it actually got Louis Marco out of retirement. He's actually making videos about Nick Walker and his gut right now. Now, people are saying that this is actually just the angle, and everybody looked the same from this angle hitting this pose, but no, not really. Nick definitely has the biggest issue with his midsection today, at least, and at this year's Mr. Olympia, he wasn't feeling it. He knew he wasn't 100%, and so he didn't even try to hide it. He let it out. He let it hang. He was probably like, I'm not winning this show, I'm not even in the first call out, so does it matter if I present myself the best way possible? I'm already getting beaten by 4 other guys, and even Martin Fitzwater is beating me. Brandon Curry can't really beat him no matter how off I am, so why does it matter? I don't need to be professional on this stage. So he let it go, he let it hang. Not very professional, not very cool, but it is what it is. I understand him. Now, a thing that I don't really understand, that I don't condone, is this. So there are comments online. This is only one of them, but let me read it for you guys. So this guy right here, I guess a fan of Nick Walker, says, Nick, I'm a fan, but the way you treated the fans and I this weekend was kind of disappointing. At the Meet the Olympians night at the Olympia complex on Thursday night, you walked away because it was getting late, totally understandable, but you flipped me off as well as all the other fans, which no other athlete did that night when they left. He also says, I just watched the Urs Klecinski video titled Show Day Mr. Olympia, my conclusion, and at the 28th mark, a fan told Urs that he told him to F off that night after the finals. No way to treat your fans. Okay, alright. So if I'm not misunderstanding this, basically flip them off means showing them the middle finger. showing your middle finger to the people who are waiting in the line to take a photo with you. I understand that he was nervous, that he was disappointed, that he was angry, but still, man, to treat your fans that way, come on. Now, of course, I went to Urs's YouTube channel, and of course I found the video, and here is what these guys are saying.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
We just happen to stay
the
here.
boys walking behind those girls. Yeah, I know what's up.
And you said we could get a photo together?
Yeah, let's go. Appreciate it. Thank you so much, brother.
We saw Nick walk earlier. He told us to
All right. I mean, not very good PR for Nick Walker. I don't know why he needed to do this. I understand that he was disappointed, that he didn't like the look, that he was nervous, that he hated it, that he needed to be there and greet the fans and everything while knowing that he won't do well at Mr. Olympia. But still, man, like, those guys are there to see you. You have a lot of fans. It's not all about the placings. He definitely should have tried to be nice towards his fans, but yeah, I guess he has his dark moments as well, and this is what happens. Now, I don't know the background here, but to me it feels like he was sort of forced to compete. I'm sure he was thinking about pulling out again, but somebody forced him to do this show. Whether it was his coach, his team, or actually like the IFBB, the Mr. Olympia people. Maybe they were like, we promoted this show with you in it. You're one of the favorites to win this show. You gotta do it. I remember that last year he actually spoke to the IFBB people and they were like, that's okay, you can skip this Mr. Olympia. You're not looking good. That's understandable. You don't look your best. You're not feeling it. Maybe it's not the best idea to do the show. But this year they probably took a look at him and they were like, you look good enough. You look good enough. Maybe you won't win the show, but you'll still be in that top 5, top 6. And if you pull out, it's going to be a problem. So it seems like, to me, it feels like, I don't know why, but I'm getting this sort of a vibe. And if I look at the Tarek El-Gindi here and Tim Wilkins, I'm also under the impression that these guys knew that he was not bringing it. But they had an agreement that Nick actually plays this super confident role that he does usually when he is on. Only this time around he was off. So that's probably why he was behaving the way he was behaving. He was doing his job, but he wasn't really in that role. I mean, how could he be? But as far as treating the fans the way he did, I don't condone that. There is no explanation for that. That was just not cool, and I'm sure he'll lose a lot of fans for this. Not me, necessarily. I understand that, I mean, kind of, not really, but like, I know that he probably felt horrible, and he just couldn't handle it, and he did what he did. And I'm sure he's gonna apologize at some point, so I have empathy for this guy, you know, I feel sorry for him, and, you know, I get it, not get it, but like, you know, I wouldn't take it personally if I was these guys that got flipped off and the other guys that he told them to F off, but I'm sure a lot of people won't like this, and I'm curious to hear what do you guys think about Nick's behavior. Tell me down below in the comment section. Alright, the next thing we got is about Derek Lunsford. So, as you guys may know, the finals were kind of late because of somebody. We didn't know why at the moment, but later we found out that it was Derek who wasn't feeling well. And at the pre-judging, the last bodybuilder to do their posing routine is always the Mr. Olympia. And of course, that was this year Samson Dauda. But at the finals, it was actually Derek Lunsford who did his posing routine. Now, why was this? Why did this happen? Well, we don't have anything concrete. Nobody really went out and made a statement. Derek posted a lot of stuff, of course. He is the Mr. Olympia. This guy is your Mr. Olympia right here. Whether you love his physique or his personality, doesn't matter. This is the representation of whole bodybuilding. I mean, he deserved it. The guy looked the best on that stage. I have no doubts about that. But there was something wrong with him behind the stage. From what we heard originally, it was that he was feeling unwell. And I thought, I'm sure you thought as well, that it was like some sort of maybe stomach issue, maybe something with his physical health. But it seems like it's actually something else. How do I know? Well, I'm gonna show you a video, guys. It's an interview with Chris Aceto. Dave Palumbo tries to get an answer out of Chris Aceto, and Dave Palumbo knew exactly what happened. But Chris Aceto wasn't gonna tell us what it is. Before we actually continue talking about this, let me play this video for you.
Derek had a little trouble backstage. What happened? Because I know you ran back there.
I don't want to. He had some. I don't want to. Dave,
Something happened.
you're asking a question that's a private issue that is not.
Well, you went back there as his coach and motivated him and gave him this coach's speech, is what makes you a great coach. You can talk about that.
I'd rather not.
All right, you'd rather not. Let's talk about Hadi Chupin.
Yep.
Wasn't as full last night. His tan wasn't the best I'd seen, and he always has.
Did you hear that? I increased the volume of the sound. He says, Jesus Christ. Because Dave knew what happened, and he basically told us. Chris had to go and talk to Derek, to encourage him, to motivate him, because he obviously had a bad moment, and it wasn't a health issue, a physical health issue. If Chris needed to go to talk to him, to, as Dave says, to motivate him and to give him a speech, to help him actually go on that stage because he was struggling, apparently. Now, we all can see that Derek is obviously a troubled man. I mean, just like Mike Sommerfeld, very similar situation. But it's different, guys. I don't think Derek is treating anyone badly. Like, he's just, very arrogant and, has a lot of ego. And from what I'm seeing, a lot of people are complaining about him promoting his religion. But I don't think he has bad intentions with that. It helped him. And to some people, it helps. So when he was struggling, it helped him. And he's trying to maybe help some other people the way somebody else helped him. I don't have an issue with that. I'm not into that, but if it works for somebody, it works, and he's just trying to help. So I don't think he's behaving badly towards the other people. If he's egotistical, if he's arrogant, that's his thing. It's definitely different with Mike Sommerfeld, but I'm feeling bad for that guy as well now that he lost the Mr. Olympia. But I feel like that also needed to happen. Maybe this way he's gonna gain some new fans now that he's an underdog. And there is nothing on his IG since the Mr. Olympia finished. Not a story, not a post, nothing. I'm kind of worried about this guy, to be honest. But if he plays this right, it can work in his favor. But, the same thing happened with Derek last year. He placed third at the Mr. Olympia, and then he won the Arnold Classic, and everybody loved him at that moment, but now everybody hates him again. So what I'm trying to say, guys, maybe we should give this guy a little bit of a break, because as you can see, he's not handling it that well. I mean, how can he? How can anybody? Like, he's receiving so much hate, and for what, really? For being arrogant? Come on, that's not that bad of a thing. I mean, whatever you think, tell me down below in the comment section. Alright, and the last thing we got for today, guys, is Martin Fitzwater announcing that he's doing the Prague Pro in 2 weeks from now. That is really, really awesome news. We got a top 5 Olympian competing at the Prague Pro, which means we'll see Keon Pearson versus Martin Fitzwater versus Krijo. And who knows, maybe somebody else jumps in as well. I'm thinking maybe Samson does it if he thinks he can do something different with his physique in the next 2 weeks. Personally, I don't think he should do it. I think Samson should take some time off and try to rebuild his physique. Maybe by the time Arnold Classic comes, he can compete at the Arnold, but if not that, then at the Mr. Olympia. I don't think Samson should jump and do the Prague Pro now, but Martin is doing it. So we're gonna see Martin Fitzwater versus freaking Keon Pearson. I think this is gonna be an amazing call out. I'm pretty sure these two guys are gonna be in that top 2 call out. I don't really see Michal Krijo beating Martin or Keon, but I'm not sure, to be honest. I was kinda a little bit, I don't want to use the word disappointed at Keon at the Mr. Olympia, but we had huge expectations from this guy, especially after Dexter Jackson said that he has the best physique in the world. Some other people agreeing with that. So we all kind of thought he was going to wipe the floor with everybody in the 212, that it's not going to be even funny, but he almost lost to Sean Clarida. Based on the scorecard, it didn't look that way because Keon won with a perfect score, both pre-judging and the finals, but that doesn't mean that it wasn't close. That just means that all the judges finally decided that Keon is winning, but I'm sure most of them thought that it was very, very close. And it's not only because Keon is not that great of a bodybuilder, it's also because Sean Clarida looked incredible, and when he stands next to somebody who is also short like Keon, Sean Clarida can be very, very dangerous. I mean, he is the mini Ronnie Coleman. Now, that's not the only thing. The other thing is obviously Keon's midsection. When he hits the vacuum like this, it looks crazy, but when he flexes the abs, when he lets the stomach go, it doesn't look very good. So it's definitely a big problem. And at the Prague Pro, he's gonna try and show up even heavier, I think. He was like 220 a week out of the Mr. Olympia, so he had to lose weight, to make weight. And for the Prague Pro, he can just show up as big as he wants to be. And he needs to be very big to go against Martin Fitzwater. But honestly, I think he should try and maybe improve his conditioning a little bit more. And really focus on keeping that stomach flat and tight. And then also, of course, coming in as shredded as possible, because he's not gonna be bigger than Martin. No, but he does have a better structure, nicer structure, and he can be more conditioned. And that can be enough to win, but he needs to control that midsection, and I don't think it's just like the bloating thing, too much food or anything like that. I think it's actually him having trouble controlling the muscles because of this huge diastasis. He's probably not able to contract those ab muscles properly when he's training them, let alone on the stage when he's struggling to keep all the muscles flexed, contracted, to keep his whole body in line and then also control the midsection. It's definitely a challenge, especially when you have this sort of a problem. And Martin actually just beat Nick Walker. Not only did he beat him based on conditioning, but he actually looked pretty comparable in terms of size. I mean, Martin is not the biggest guy and he's not the tallest guy, so this is basically a perfect test for Keon. These guys are kind of similar height, similar structure. Martin is obviously bigger, Keon has prettier shape aside from that midsection, but it's definitely a great comparison. And if Keon beats Martin here, that kind of tells us that the Keon can be like top 5 at Mr. Olympia, if not higher. So this is definitely great, awesome news. Keon is gonna have an actual test at the Prague Pro. You guys tell me down below, what do you think? Can Keon beat Martin Fitzwater? What do you think about Nick's behavior towards his fans? And also, what do you think what happened to Derek behind that stage? Anyways guys, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to this channel for more content like this about bodybuilding. If you guys need online coaching, DM me at Even Bodybuilding Coaching on Instagram. And thank you guys so much for watching. See you soon, all the best, and bye bye.